Pollution levels in the national capital shot up following firecracker emissions on Diwali. A layer of haze blanketed Delhi and its air quality dipped to very poor category, with travelers continuing to defy with impunity. The Supreme Court enforced 2-hour limit for bursting crackers on Diwali on Sunday. Ear-deafening bombs, toxic smoke and ash from firecrackers filled the air as the overall air quality index crossed the severe mark at many places. Residents in Noida, Gurgaon and Ghaziabad also reported extensive firecrackers much beyond the time frame. The centre, meanwhile, has stepped in, asking states and central secretaries to take immediate steps to combat pollution from last week of October to the mid of November. Construction in the capital has also been halted during this time. As the entire nation celebrated Diwali, Prime Minister Narendra Modi continued his tradition and flew to Rajouri in Jammu and Kashmir to celebrate the Festival of Lights with the armed forces. Here's a report by Manjeet Negi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi celebrates the Festival of Lights with braves serving India. The PM, continuing with this tradition since 2014, met Jawans posted along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir's Rajouri district. This was PM Modi's first J&K visit after the abrogation of the state's special status and the splitting of the state into 2 union territories. Modi served Jawans sweets and interacted with them. He also paid tribute to the fallen soldiers of the Indian Army at Rajouri.
परंपरा रही है कि दीपावली अपने परिवारजनों के बीच में मनानी चाहिए, और इसलिए मैंने भी नियम बनाया है कि मैं भी दिवाली मेरे परिवारजनों के बीच में मनाऊं.
After meeting the PM, the Jawans were overjoyed.
की दिवाली हमारे लिए बहुत स्पेशल हुई, क्योंकि हम घर पर नहीं थे तो घर वालों से मिलने का मौका नहीं मिला. नरेंद्र मोदी जी बोले हम अपने परिवार वालों के साथ दिवाली मना रहे हैं, क्योंकि आर्मी ही उनकी दिवाली है.
बहुत अच्छी मैसेज दिया, पूरे देशवासियों को बधाई दी और पूरे सेना के साथ उन्होंने अच्छी दीपावली मनाई.
On his way back from Rajouri, PM Modi also interacted with air warriors and IAF personnel at the Pathankot Air Force Station. He also greeted them on Diwali and offered sweets. With Manjeet Negi, Bureau Report, India Today.
US President Donald Trump has confirmed that dreaded ISIS chief Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi has been killed in a US military operation. Trump said Baghdadi was killed after raids were conducted on his hideout on Saturday in northwestern Syria. The confirmation comes 3 weeks after Trump announced the withdrawal of US troops from northern Syria, leading to apprehensions of ISIS gaining ground once again. Al-Baghdadi's death has led ISIS for the last 5 years and was long thought to be hiding somewhere along the Iraq-Syria border. Baghdadi continued to remain in hiding despite several claims about his death in recent years. Baghdadi's demise will likely weaken the ISIS, which has been responsible for deadly terror attacks all across the world. Serial blasts in Sri Lanka that left 250 people dead was also claimed by the ISIS.
Last night, the United States brought the world's #1 terrorist leader to justice. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead.
Dreaded terrorist and ISIS chief Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead. US President Donald Trump has confirmed that Baghdadi has been killed in a US-led military operation in northwest Syria, hours after tweeting that something very big has just happened.
U.S. Special Operations Forces executed a dangerous and daring nighttime raid in northwestern Syria and accomplished their mission in grand style.
The US president didn't hold back, calling Baghdadi a coward and a dog.
He will never again harm another innocent man, woman, or child. He died like a dog. He died like a coward.
His death has led ISIS for the last 5 years and was long thought to be hiding somewhere along the Iraq-Syria border. Baghdadi continued to remain in hiding despite several claims about his death in recent years. Baghdadi's demise will likely weaken the ISIS, which has been responsible for deadly terror attacks all across the world. Serial blasts in Sri Lanka that left 250 people dead was also claimed by the ISIS.
Last night, the United States brought the world's #1 terrorist leader to justice. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead.
Dreaded terrorist and ISIS chief Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead. US President Donald Trump has confirmed that Baghdadi has been killed in a US-led military operation in northwest Syria, hours after tweeting that something very big has just happened.
U.S. Special Operations Forces executed a dangerous and daring nighttime raid in northwestern Syria and accomplished their mission in grand style.
The US president didn't hold back, calling Baghdadi a coward and a dog.
He will never again harm another innocent man, woman, or child. He died like a dog. He died like a coward. The world is now a much safer place.
As described by Trump, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi was cornered at the end of a tunnel and had 3 kids with him. He was crying and whimpering and had a suicide vest strapped onto him. And when the US troops' dogs got closer to him, he detonated himself, killing all the 3 children that he dragged with him to the tunnel. The US president also shot off a warning to other terrorists that the United States will not spare them.
Terrorists who oppress and murder innocent people should never sleep soundly, knowing that we will completely destroy them. These savage monsters will not escape their fate, and they will not escape the final judgment of God.
Al-Baghdadi led the ISIS for the last 5 years and was long thought to be hiding somewhere along the Iraq-Syria border. Baghdadi continued to remain in hiding despite several claims about his death in recent years. With the world's most dreaded terrorist now eliminated, this could finally spell the end of ISIS. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, Lalit Jha, in fact, joins us, the PTI correspondent. And Lalit, what I really want to know from you is how big do you consider this operation against Baghdadi?
Yeah, in fact, it is a very big operation. Killing of or death of Baghdadi in a daring operation by the U.S. forces in northwestern Syria is a big thing. He was a threat to the world, a threat to the U.S., threat to the entire civilized community. And you can look at it, what he did when he created the caliphate, the kind of brutal regime he ran, the kind of the way he tortured and killed people openly. The world has seen after the medieval reign. So his killing makes the world a little bit more safer.
Lalit, it's also being said that there were many others who were killed in the blast as well. Can you give us any details on that?
The details of who were killed or captured during the raid has not come in yet. But President Trump did give some details about it. Like the 3 children were killed. Baghdadi himself took them along with him in the tunnel. 11 children have also been captured, were captured during the raid. They have been handed over to some local persons to take care of them. According to Trump, there were 2 women who had the suicide vests on their body, but they were not killed, but they were dead. they were lying dead inside the compound. A lot of fighters have also been arrested and killed too. According to Trump, more were killed and less were arrested. Those who have been arrested, who have been taken away, they have been taken away by the U.S. forces. Now they are imprisoned. So they will be, I guess, they will be interrogated, and the formal legal process will be initiated against them.
Lalit, thank you for joining us with all those details. Now, staying on with the story, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, one of the most feared terrorists in the world, is now killed. Let's take a look at who and how is it that his death weakens the ISS.
Born in 1971 in Samarra, Iraq, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi was the son of a Quran teacher. Baghdadi himself was a cleric in a mosque when the city was invaded by US-led forces in 2003. After the US invasion to unseat Saddam Hussein in 2003, Baghdadi was jailed at Camp Bucca in 2004. Where he reportedly linked up with Al-Qaeda in Iraq and soon started an offshoot called Islamic State of Iraq. In 2010, when Umar al-Baghdadi was killed in an airstrike, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi became their leader. In 2011, he expanded the group into Syria, changing its name to the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, or ISIS. The group seized major Syrian towns, including Raqqa, exploiting the power vacuum. Then came a series of beheadings of Western hostages by the terror group. In 2014, ISIS seized the northern Iraqi city of Mosul. In his first and only televised speech from the pulpit of Mosul's Grand Mosque, Baghdadi announced the foundation of the caliphate, calling himself the Caliph. Baghdadi was in hiding since 2014 as his terror group suffered heavy losses, eventually losing Mosul. There were numerous unsubstantiated reports of his death. On 29th of April 2019, Baghdadi appeared in his last video, his first public appearance in 5 years. In September, he released an audio message calling for his followers to free detained ISIS members and their families held in camps in Iraq and Syria. Bureau Report, India Today.
On a day when the festival of lights, Diwali, across the world was being celebrated, Pakistani groups staged an anti-India protest in the British capital of London. The protesters in large numbers assembled in central London near the High Commission and raised anti-India slogans. The security outside the Indian High Commission was beefed up after recent vandalism by Pakistani protesters. The cops had barricaded the street leading to the High Commission and denied permission to protesters to head towards it. Meanwhile, the Indian community members in London used vans to counter the protests. The vans had a message which read, Diwali lights and unites.
I think what's deeply shaming as a Brit, as an English person, is that we've allowed these protests to happen on Diwali. If I can suggest the camera just sweeps round, there is now a large police presence here outside the Indian embassy. It is, in all intents and purposes, an Indian embassy, and I just think it's very shameful that our Pakistani Muslim mayor has allowed busloads of Pakistani people here, and it's essentially a Pakistani mob that's been imported into London to cause trouble.
So this is the road that leads to the 10 Downing Street, and then if you go round across along this road, you could reach Trafalgar Square, possibly the route that has been given to the protesters. If you see behind me, and I have walked the entire area from Indian High Commission, where there are barricades and police presence, but no protesters because they are not allowed to be present there. There, all we have is two vans, one a van with a Diwali message and the other with the pro-Kashmiri, pro-Pakistani message. And you can see there's so much of police presence this time. Let me turn around and show you humongous police presence here, all across a whole cavalcade of police horsemen as well as on the motorcade and everybody. This was absolutely not present the last two times that there were protests, especially not on the 15th of August. If this was present, maybe all the violence that had occurred would not have happened. And this time the Home Secretary is Preeti Patel, who has ensured that at least there is so much of police presence that any violent incident people will think twice before indulging into. Lavina Tandon for India Today from London. I'm going to point out to the van, if I may say, just that blue van with a huge digital banner. This is the Diwali digital campaign that the British Indians are actually replying in response to. This is there in response to the van of pro-Kashmir or pro-protesters. So can you see that messaging there? It's a very inclusive, it's a very peace and love kind of messaging from all sectors here who are celebrating Diwali. Diwali is being celebrated here, though I must put on record that the protesters say that this is not really Diwali that they are focusing on. It is their freedom march, and they say and they claim when Indian army was landed in Kashmir. But this happens to be a Diwali day, and a lot of Indian people got miffed and had written to the Home Secretary, to the Commissioner of Police, and Sadiq Khan. The Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, condemned the protest. He called for it to be stopped, and eventually Bob Blackman, the Member of Parliament, raised the question to the British Parliament, in the PMQs, the Prime Minister Question Time, and Prime Minister Boris Johnson as well condemned any intimidation or violence.
Rajiv Gandhi assassination convict Nalini continues to be on a hunger strike, demanding her and her husband's release. Her lawyer has said that the reason why she's on a hunger strike is to save her husband Murugan. Her husband Murugan, also a convict in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case, was alleged to have possessed a cell phone which was allegedly seized from him by the prison officials. Following this, Murugan was put under solitary confinement. Nalini's lawyer claims that Murugan is not being provided with basic amenities, adding that hearing about his condition, Nalini too has begun her hunger strike. Nalini, who has been serving a life term for over 28 years, started a hunger strike inside the Vellore Women's Prison on Saturday. The two convicts have a daughter together, and Nalini recently came out on a month parole to make preparations for her daughter's wedding.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.